Hey guys, this is your CERB update as of August 21st, 2020. Trudeau and his Liberal government just unveiled a new $37 billion plan for workers that have been affected by the coronavirus. So the new measures that are going to come into effect include broad changes to the employment insurance, also known as unemployment insurance, and the creation of 3 new benefit programs that are going to be in place. So I'm going to tell you all about these new programs in this video, so you're going to want to stay tuned to see how they can affect you. I'm also going to include links in the description below that you can go to and read more for yourself for more information. But let's get right into this because there's a lot to cover in today's video, so let's go. So the first thing, some great news, is that the CERB has been extended for another month. Yes, the CERB is going to be extended for another 4 weeks, and then a new benefit will come into effect that's going to pay you $400 per week for up to 26 weeks. And this is going to be for those people who are ineligible for EI or employment insurance. And once the CERB runs dry and you're not eligible for EI, this is when that benefit will kick in. And like I said, it's going to be $400 a week. Now, anyone who is eligible for EI will also get the same minimum 26 weeks of payment and will need to have worked at least 120 hours to qualify. That is well below the current EI requirements, so they are loosening up the requirements around EI because now the government is finally understanding that situations have changed because of the pandemic and not as many people have been able to get those hours in due to the nature of what's going on. So also among these benefits is a new $500 weekly caregiving benefit. This benefit is meant for those who have to stay home in order to take care of someone else. So if you're taking care of a kid and they're at home because they're sick or they can't go to daycare and you need to stay home and you can't work because of that, you're eligible likely for this $500 a week caregiving benefit. So we'll talk about a little bit more about that in a little bit here. Another new benefit that's coming out is a $500 weekly benefit for up to 2 weeks for anyone who has to stay home because they are sick or because they have to self-isolate due to reasons surrounding COVID-19. So obviously, if you have COVID-19, they want you to self-isolate for 14 days. And this benefit is going to make sure that you're getting income during that time in which you need to self-isolate. And then there's also going to be changes coming that allow workers to keep more of their benefits even while they're working. And they're going to be eliminating what's called the earnings cliff that's created under the CERB that kind of acted as a disincentive to actually go to work. Because what was happening was people were unmotivated to go back to work because the CERB was either more or around the same amount of money that they could have got while going to work, so that people thought it was just easier and way better to just collect the CERB and stay at home rather than earning income and becoming ineligible for the CERB. So now Canada is going to remove those requirements completely. So most of these EI changes and these 3 new benefits will kick off starting on September 27th, and they're going to remain in effect for 1 year. And this is according to government officials. The expected cost to taxpayers will be about $8 billion, yes, billion, for 1 month for the CERB, $7 billion for the modifications to the EI program, and $22 billion for these new benefit programs. Now these are estimates, but Trudeau's money machine goes brrr. So currently, as of right now, the numbers, there's about 4 million Canadians that are still receiving the CERB. And of those, around 3 million are expected to transition into EI, and 1 million will transition into these other benefits. This is according to government speculation. Okay, so let's take a look at each benefit one by one. The first one is the CERB. CERB obviously is the Canada Emergency Response Benefit. It was set to run out at the end of August, but it is getting extended for another month. So under the old rules, workers could only apply for a maximum of 6 of the program's 7 4-week eligibility periods. Now, This meant that those who had been continually eligible for the CERB since the beginning of when the CERB came to be, starting on March 15th, they were expected to run out of the CERB benefits at the end of this month on August 29th. So the new rules now extend the CERB eligibility period for another 4-week period. Now, I've made a couple videos on the CERB and who's eligible and what it looks like, and I will link those in the description. But if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. But I will provide you a lot of different details in the description and in the other videos, so check those out. Oh, EI. EI is a big one here. The government announced a lot of changes to EI, making it a more generous program and lowering the eligibility requirements. So specifically, Canadians who qualify for EI will now just need 120 hours of eligible employment. If you work this out with full-time, it's about 3.5 weeks worth of full-time work. And those who reach that threshold will now be able to access unemployment benefits. This same threshold is also going to apply to a couple other benefits like maternity, parental, sickness, and compassionate care of family caregiver benefits. So those are some big changes, and as of September 27th, so a month from now, the government is also increasing the EI benefits rate to a minimum of $400 per week. So normally people who apply receive about 55% of their average weekly earnings, up to a ceiling of $573, but there is no floor on how little they can get. So the big difference here is now there is a minimum of $400. Also, with the big changes, people who apply for EI will now be set to receive a minimum of at least 26 weeks of payment, which is the same of roughly 6 months of these benefits. So usually the number of weeks benefit between, they range between 14 to 45 weeks depending on the local unemployment rate. But now that number is going to be set to 26. And with a few exceptions, those Canadians who have been receiving the CERB through Service Canada will be seamlessly transitioned into EI without the need to reapply. And those who qualify for the traditional unemployment benefits but have been receiving CERB through the Canada Revenue Agency will have to file a new EI application. So if that's you, make note of that. Okay, now on to the new, what's called the new Canada Recovery Benefits. Now, this is meant for workers who don't qualify for EI that we just previously talked about. The federal government's trying to have you covered by creating 3 temporary benefits. The Canada Recovery Benefit for the self-employed and others who don't meet the eligibility criteria for EI. There's also going to be a Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit for those who are sick with COVID or must self-isolate because of the COVID. And the Canada Recovery Caregiving Benefit. So that's going to be for those who can't work because obviously they're caring for a child. Now, all 3 benefits are going to be administered by the CRA with applications opening in October. Now, the important thing to note with all 3 of these benefits is also similar to the CERB. These are going to be taxable, so it's important to take note of that if you are going to be receiving these benefits. They're not going to be taxed at source, which means you're going to be responsible come tax time to pay the tax, if any, on that benefit. Now, I did talk about that in previous videos again with the CERB, so you can go check those out to learn how you can plan for the taxation on these benefits. Let's take a look first at the Canada Recovery Benefit. This will provide you with $400 per week. It's the same as the minimum weekly modified EI benefit payment. Recipients will have the obligation to be available for work and look for employment while on this benefit. However, to kind of make sure that you are going to work and looking for work, you will still be able to earn up to $38,000 in annual net income from employment or self-employment while you're receiving these benefits. And if you earn anything beyond that threshold, you'll have to repay 50% of every dollar earned, like EI recipients have to do while they are on their claim. So what that means, if you're going back to work and then you end up making more than $38,000, if you're still getting this recovery benefit, you're going to have to pay a portion, 50% of that back, because you're now over that threshold. And then obviously you won't need to apply for it anymore. So this benefit is again available only for workers who stopped working or saw their incomes reduced due to COVID-19. And this is obviously for those who are not eligible for EI at the same time. All right, the next benefit is the Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit. And this will provide you with $500 per week for up to 2 weeks for workers who do not have access to other types of paid sick leave. So as with CERB, applicants must be able to submit what's called an attestation that they qualify for the benefit. And this is obviously if you are sick due to COVID and you cannot work. Lastly is the Canada Recovery Caregiving Benefit. This will provide up to $550 per week per household. So not per person, but per household for up to 26 weeks. And also it's attestation based. Families who choose not to send their children to reopened daycares and schools will not be eligible for the benefit. However, if parents receive advice by a medical professional to keep their kids at home due to the underlying health conditions that heighten the risks linked to COVID-19, they will be able to receive this benefit. So these are the new benefits that are going to be coming into place. I'm sure there'll be more details as time goes on, but these are coming down the pipeline. So get ready if you are struggling and you need help and you believe you're going to fall into these categories. Stay vigilant and be on the lookout for what the government is going to be releasing in the next couple of weeks. But good news is help is on the way, and hopefully things will get back to normal soon. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. If you got value out of this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.